Hey guys, so recently it has been announced that Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner are divorcing, and there is a weird situation happening on the internet that I want to discuss with you guys. So if you're watching, subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment for engagement. Let's go. Joe Jonas and Sophie have been dating for about they've been dating for a while, but they've been married for about 4 years, and they have 2 children together. And there's been speculation. They didn't have their rings on, you know, that kind of a thing. And it's been a speculation that they're gonna get divorced, and they are. So there's a page 6 article that says Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas heading for divorce after 4 years of marriage. So Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner are heading for divorce after 4 years of marriage, page 6 can confirm. Joe's exploring the best options for his future, a source tells us. And TMZ was the first to report this on Sunday, that the musician, aka Joe Jonas, 34, is on the cusp of filing for divorce from the 27-year-old actress. Now, they actually started dating 7 years ago. So she was 20 and he was 27, and they had children pretty quickly. And so when she was 23, they got married, and he was, why am I just losing my mind, 30. So people are saying that she was essentially pushed into marriage pretty quickly and into having children, and there is an element of maybe her trying to live a life as a young person. Apparently they've been experiencing serious problems in their relationship for 6 months, and over the past 3 months Jonas has reportedly been caring for their young kids pretty much all of the time, even while touring with his brothers Nick Jonas and Kevin Jonas. As you can see, there is slight shaming here going on. There is a lot of like inside sources are saying that she just wants to go out and party and she doesn't want to take care of her children, and he's heard this and this about her, but it's all like inside sources, and these inside sources seem to be someone related to Joe Jonas or like Joe Jonas's PR team or Joe Jonas himself. Page 6 previously reported that Turner was seen dancing in the crowd at Yankee Stadium for the opening night of the Jonas Brothers tour last month. However, the Game of Thrones alumni has seemingly not attended a show since, and Joe was spotted without his wedding ring in Dallas, Minneapolis, and many more tour stops. The duo also sold their Miami mansion in August, just 1 year after purchasing it. So they reached out to reps for the couple, but they didn't like hear back. And they got engaged in 2017, which is 5 years ago, so she was 22, and they eloped 2 years after that. So there seems to be this, like, page 6 mainly is reporting on all these weird sources that, you know, Sophie is just so like irresponsible and crazy and yada yada. But there is a shift, and I really like this. A lot of audiences are not eating up this narrative. We love Sophie Turner around here, and people are just basically on Sophie's side. So the more people try to, like, you know, use these sources to try and back Joe up, people are just bouncing back and saying, no, like, we're team Sophie over here. And I think these magazines are starting to catch on to that, because they're now being a lot more positive towards Sophie. I wonder if they at first thought that they were going to get the inside scoop from Joe, put it all out there, and everyone's going to be on Joe's side, so they can just keep on peddling these inside sources. But people very quickly shut all of that down, and I think these magazines have just woken up and were like, oh right, let's make sure that we're on Sophie's side here. So for example, page 6 on the 6th of September posted, Sophie Turner spotted downing shots at bar days before Joe Jonas filed for divorce. It's just going into this like, she's this party animal, and Joe Jonas just doesn't want to be someone so irresponsible. He wants to take care of his children. So she was spotted downing shots during a wild night out just days before reports surfaced that her partying factored into Joe Jonas's decision to file for divorce. So the general manager of Birmingham, England arcade bar Dropshot Digbeth shared photos and videos on Instagram Sunday of the Game of Thrones star 27 knocking back booze while the Jonas Brothers member 34 was on tour in the US. Just me and my new mate Sophie T out for a few bevies. Soph stopped by my spot to test out my punch machine, is what he captioned it. And he said, I made the best mojito ever, so I'll take that. And there's the picture of that. She's believed to have been celebrating the wrap of her upcoming ITV show Joan, which she has been filming across the pond. An unnamed friend of the actress told the Daily Mail Wednesday that Turner has been enjoying the nightlife scene as of late because she felt that she missed out on it while filming Game of Thrones in her teens. So she was filming Game of Thrones in her teens, so she kind of lost all of that, and then she got married very quickly, which is not always a bad thing. I think it's okay if it works for, you know, who it works for, but then she missed out on that because she had children pretty quickly on, and I think maybe, you know, she just wants to live her life a little bit. So he filed for divorce on September 5th after 4 years of marriage, and a source claims the pair had many disagreements and the divorce was the last resort for Joe Jonas. He's seeking shared parental responsibility with his estranged wife. The children are said to live primarily with Jonas, and the singer is said to be caring for them pretty much all of the time, which, I mean, he is on tour, so he's not taking care of the children pretty much all of the time. His nanny is most likely taking care of the most of the time. And Turner's penchant for partying is believed to have factored into the split, and a source said the pair have very different lifestyles. Sophie feels like she's only just waking up to what her life in reality really is. She became famous at a very young age, then married and had kids at a young age, and never really had the teenage years of sleeping around and just having carefree fun with friends. I mean, who's saying, even if she wants to sleep around, but like, who says that that's what it is? Maybe she just doesn't want to be married anymore. The pair also claimed that Turner, who shares 2 daughters with Jonas, felt like her personal life had stalled after the HBO series ended its 8-season run in 2019, adding that she's the only person in her circle who is married and a mother. Since the kids came along, she's feeling trapped. She's the only person in her tight friendship group who is married with 2 children, and she reportedly wants to make up for lost time now. However, he's not on the same page. He wants a more settled life. She's not ready for that because she feels like she's not even had a teen or young adult life. She likes to party, he likes to stay at home. They have very different lifestyles. One insider told TMZ on Tuesday after he filed the divorce. And they did put out a joint statement as well. After 4 wonderful years of marriage, we have mutually decided to amicably end our marriage. There are many speculative narratives as to why, but truly this is a united decision, and we sincerely hope that everyone can respect our wishes for privacy for us and our children, which sounds very PR, fair enough. And then there's this like, Joe Jonas allegedly caught Sophie Turner in compromising Ring camera footage before filing for divorce, as if she's like literally having sex with someone like on their front doorstep. But in a different situation, he was called the social butterfly, and he called Sophie Turner the homebody in their relationship before split. And then they posted this on the 6th, which is just after they started like seeing that the audience is not on the like Sophie Turner hate train. And so now they're like switching up and saying, well, he did used to refer to her as the homebody and himself as the social butterfly, because they've done interviews in the past. I mean, this is the problem of being famous, both of you. You know, there's a lot out there to speculate on. So Joe Jonas once admitted that his estranged wife Sophie Turner was a homebody amid reports that her love of partying was the catalyst for their divorce. In a resurfaced TikTok Q&A video from 2020, the former pair was asked who was the homebody in the relationship, to which Jonas said that it was Sophie, and she agreed, smiling as she pointed out herself. This isn't the first time Turner had admitted to enjoying her downtime at home. During the pandemic, the actress shared an interview with Conan O'Brien that she was actually enjoying quarantine. I'm loving it. I'm an introvert. I'm a homebody, she told the show host at the time. If I could stay at home all day, I would, so this is great for me. And it's all like, oh, Joe Jonas is primarily taking care of the kids right now. It's probably because she's filming in the UK and the kids have lived in the States their whole life, so it would make sense to uproot that and move them for a few months while filming, whereas they're doing a tour in the States. So it makes sense that the children would be staying with him right now. And once she wraps up filming, she'll be back in the States to take care of her kids. Like, that's fine. I feel this is just really weird timing. She shared that she would leave the house once a day to walk her dogs, but that's it. And she joked that in order to practice social distancing, all you have to do is stay at home and get drunk. However, Turner admitted that quarantine was working out in her favor because Jonas is a real social butterfly. I struggle to kind of lock him down and have him just spend time with me, she said. It's like prison for him, but it's great for me. Apparently, this was actually a day before they posted that. They also posted, unhappy Joe Jonas tried to salvage Sophie Turner marriage, filed for divorce as last resort. So there's definitely a shift between the 5th and the 6th of September. I know this is very, you know, petty, but there's definitely a shift there. And so then on the 7th, can you guys see this shift? On the 5th, it's he's doing everything. This was last resort. On the 6th, they're starting to, oh, he was the social butterfly. She was homebody. Now, 7th, Joe Jonas allegedly complained and was less than supportive when Sophie Turner struggled after giving birth to their second child last year. And they have been struggling for the last 6 months, mainly in the last 3 months. So that makes sense. You know, postpartum depression is usually, you know, if that's what it is, but postpartum is usually kind of like an issue for about 6 months to a year. So that lines up. So a source told TMZ Thursday that the Jonas Brothers member allegedly pressured the Game of Thrones star to start attending industry events and get out of the house more, despite her not wanting to be photographed. Although she preferred to stay home with their 2 daughters, Turner put on a brave face and went to numerous events with her husband. However, sources told TMZ that Turner had to make it clear she was uncomfortable and didn't want to be there. At a separate event that Turner didn't attend, the Hesitate crooner allegedly complained that his wife needed to get out more, prompting those around him to suspect that their marriage had hit a rough patch. And his reps have declined to comment on this exact report. And then we have this like on the 6th as well. So this is happening kind of like 5th, 6th, 7th, because he obviously filed a few days ago. On the 6th as well, they posted that he had ditched his wedding ring and he was dining with his daughters after filing for divorce from Sophie Turner. There's these pictures of him dining with his daughters. I'm also going to try and blur the faces out of the daughters because they are children. But allegedly, this is a paparazzi guy that takes a lot of like those staged, like you call him, he takes pictures of you. So it's just fueling this whole like, I'm a great dad and I'm here with the children and she's over in the UK downing shots, even though I'm literally on tour and there is probably a nanny taking care of my children all the time because I'm performing every day. So look at me just eating lunch with my children. I don't know, I hate this like dragging your ex-partner. I think it's tacky as is, and it's even more tacky when you share children together. Those children are going to grow up to see that you are like trying to salate their other parent on the internet for some brownie points from what strangers on the internet. This is so pathetic. Anyway, people are hitting on the fact that he was a lot older than her, well, not a lot, but quite a bit older than her when they first started dating. I mean, 20 is a bit of a weird age. You're an adult legally, but you're still in that like immature mindset, and 27 is definitely like marriage age. Like you're at that time where you're kind of looking to settle down with someone, and it makes sense why 2 years after they started dating they were already engaged, because, you know, I'm 23 and I can't imagine being engaged, and I'm in a committed relationship, so there's definitely a lot to that. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'm hoping nothing else happens until then, until I post this video, because I'm pre-filming. So this is editing update Angelica. I forgot to add in that in the past Joe Jonas has blamed his bad behavior on women in general in his life. It seems to be an ongoing trend where he can't take accountability for certain things. Like the relationship is falling apart, instead of taking a little bit, an ounce of accountability, we are blaming her for being a party animal, which in fact is false, which I've already talked about. So for example, Vanity Fair in 2013, Joe Jonas says Miley Cyrus and Demi Lovato peer pressured him to try pot. In 2010, Joe Jonas ditches Purity Ring to hook up with Ashley Green. So not just like he ditches Purity Ring, no, it's he ditches it because like this woman wanted to have sex with him. Joe Jonas was just trying to tell his story when he revealed that he lost his virginity to Ashley Green. Green signaled she was not best pleased with Jonas deciding to tell the world that he lost his virginity to her, which, I mean, it was also her personal information, so it's just a little bit weird that he's like, guys, I know you're angry at me because I don't have a Purity Ring anymore, but actually it was only because I was going to lose my virginity to someone. And like didn't ask her if he was allowed to like talk about that. Obviously people added in the Sophie Turner's partying reportedly factored into Joe Jonas' divorce. Once again, not taking accountability for why the relationship could have fallen apart on his end. It's just, she's a party animal. She's not a good parent. I've got to go. Unhappy Joe Jonas tried to salvage Sophie Turner marriage, filed for divorce as a last resort. You know what I mean? So it's just very interesting to see him never be able to take accountability for any of his life decisions. And I think also people have made a really good point of like putting his children in paparazzi's way, like calling paparazzi on himself with his kids, and his kids have never had their faces shown allegedly. They've always been kind of shielded from the limelight, so the only time he ever gets those children out in front of the cameras, and that's paparazzi cameras that he called on himself, is to try and prove that he's like a good father, instead of just, I don't know, taking the time to be a good father. And now Sophie Turner has been seen kissing another man, which is her co-host. So allegedly those scenes are probably for a movie, like they're not just kissing on a beach, like that this probably takes for a movie. But people are using that once again to be like, see, she's a cheating liar. And it's like, no, she's just an actress. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, hit that bell, and I'll see you in my next one.